I'm from the IDC. The IDC, you're all familiar with the IDC. It was several sessions in the past 2 days about the IDC and what we do and how we do not give money to people. It seems like everybody is worried about commercialization, and we the people that don't want to give you money. I'm not going to tell you how to get money from the IDC. I'm not going to tell you lots about the IDC. I've decided this afternoon, when I saw the conference and what's happening and what's going on, that it would be a bit more worthwhile maybe, and I hope there's quite a number of SMEs in the room, or people starting businesses, or people with medical devices, to share some of my insights I've gained through the IDC. And then in the past 9 years, I was seconded by the IDC. That one. End of slideshow, that's fun. Okay. Oh, it's working there. Maybe. I don't think so. That is, I'm the wrong. Let me start from scratch. You see, this wakes up the audience very easily. Here's the man. Thank you. I'll try continue talking. Can you still hear me? People on the back, sadly so. So what I'm going to tell you about is the IDC seconded me to one of their portfolio companies. It's a company called Lodox Systems. They manufacture a full body X-ray system. Really remarkable piece of technology, and they really battled to get the business started and growing, and we didn't know what to do. And it's only after a couple of years, thank you very much, into business that we realized what the problem was and what we could do better. So all these fun stuff that Tony talked about, that's regulatory affairs and licensing and compliance and get all these things done, it's really difficult to run a medical device company in this country. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's quite expensive as well. So funding is very important, and that's why most companies are out there and they get this wonderful technology out there, and they think about these wonderful ideas, and then they need to overcome all these obstacles to do these things. And then at the end, a couple years down the road, they secured all of that, and then they find, oh, we flopped the business doesn't work that well. And the reason for that is because you lose focus sometimes. All these other things keep you so busy, and you can't afford to have enough people to do all these things. So the CEO must do 10 things, and then if you're a good company, have a COO that's also doing more than you or she must, and it's like that for everyone. So Lodox Systems, for you that's not familiar with Lodox Systems, is a medical device company, manufacture full body X-ray device. We'll see some of the things that they do in my presentation. Started in 2002, background is from the diamond mines. The BS diamond mines got this device to scan miners to see if they walk with the merchandise of the mines. And then they decided to change it to a medical device company. All the machines are handmade in Sandton. We believe, I cannot say we anymore, I'm back at the IDC. Lodox believes, the chairman of the board's in the room, so he's going to keep me to track here. Lodox believes it's like putting together a very fancy sports car. Know exactly who touched what and how you put it together. So it's a really remarkable piece of equipment. IDC is a majority shareholder. They owns 94% of the company, and you would think that would help to make sales in government. It didn't. And then fully owned subsidiary in North America, because everybody, if you start a medical device company, you go there, all these billions of dollars available, and they just want to spend it on our things. They don't really want to. So we've got technology, and it's always about the technology, and you try to sell this technology. So what Lodox is doing, on the screen you'll see 2 pictures, and I think some of you are only here because it's medical devices. You come because of the pictures, not actually what we're saying. Because there's always a couple fun pictures in these presentations. So they do a full body scan. On the left you would see is a very dead person, and they specialize in 2 niche markets, forensics and in trauma. The right-hand person's actually got through well and walked out of the hospital after all of that. So it's a full body, very high speed, low radiation. No company in the world can do this together still. Lodox is the only company in the world can do it. All of this happens in 13 seconds, and the X-ray dose to the patient is approximately similar to 10% of a normal X-ray. and that's very, very low. The machine is also so designed that you can put it anywhere. You don't need to screen it. You don't need to, the doctors can work with the trauma patients while they busy resuscitate the patients. And it's really, really, the technology is wow. So there's the first patient ever done by Lodox. So you can see that patient had 13 injuries, but only one of those injuries was really vital for that patient. And that type of injury, which was a pneumothorax, that's your lung that goes flat and you cannot breathe because of that, doctors only get to that later in, after the patient arrives. So when a patient arrives now at a hospital and there's a machine, within the first minute the trauma surgeons know exactly what's wrong with that patient, and they can see there's a problem with the lung, and they don't care about the blood and the guts and the broken bones and all of that. Without this machine, you only get to images from patients at least 20 to 30 minutes after you reach the hospital. That is if there's a working radiography department, if there's a machine that's working and they can get you to that, and you can be still enough that they can take a picture of you. So Lodox counter all of that. We've got all the regulatory things from the beginning, FDA, which is quite important for America, CE mark, ISO 13485, and put the number of the others on there as well, and then also very remarkable awards. So there was nothing wrong with the technology. It was really, really state of the art. So then, other than the technology, they were also well known. People loved it from the beginning. There was international things. CNN had broadcasts about it. Other news channels in the States. In Europe there was some. In South Africa there was some. Then from Department of Health and even from the President of South Africa, there was the release of the newer version of the system in Uppington, and both the Minister of Health and the President of the country was there, and they acknowledged this technology. At that stage they still didn't bought into it and distribute it in the country. And then Minister Patel, who is the Economic Development Minister and the IDC's big boss, he actually helped us quite a bit to get this thing known. And it's at Africa Health in 2014, we've launched systems for the whole of Gauteng. So that was the first time that government recognized that there is something that they can do, and in bulk we can fix trauma care in this country. So Gauteng is sorted out, but the rest of the country we're still busy, or Lodox is still busy with. And the reason for this happening was this. Lodox was featured on Grey's Anatomy, and government didn't talk to us, or even with Minister Patel's help, with the IDC's help, until this thing came up on TV. And suddenly my phone was ringing and say, listen, we want to see you. You were in Grey's Anatomy. Wow, can we just do something? So this was one episode of Grey's Anatomy. They mentioned the word Lodox in that episode, I think 22 times. We didn't pay a cent for it. They came to us. And they're considering doing a follow-up for that. So this, I think is quite impressive. I don't know if you guys don't, but we still couldn't sell the thing. We still couldn't make money out of it. So we've done all of these things. And that is now where the gist of my presentation comes in. And if you can just remember this little bit, if you know it already and you find it boring, it's excellent, because you know what to do. And if this is what you can take home, I would really, really be happy. And remember this. So when a finance institution like the IDC comes to you and they look at your business for money, or to give you money, they do the first thing they ask you, where's your business plan? And this document, the business plan, is so important. It's like a little Bible for that funding institution, and they look at all the things that you can and can't do. And normally, if you're the IDC, you look at the budgets of your clients, and then you say you're very, very optimistic, and then we down it. We give you less money, and you must make it work with less money. And sometimes we bind one arm behind the back, and then you need to work it with this arm, but you will make it, and we love you. There was a previous session yesterday that the guy said he doesn't want to speak to finance institutions because they love you to death. They ask you these questions. They say, yes, we love what you do. It's so nice, but can you give us this? Can you do this? They say, I'm so loved, but I do not get money. And the IDC with Lodox covered all the obvious things. It was a brilliant business plan. It's technology that do not exist. Everybody in the world needs this. You can see what it does. Lodox just at the moment, with the current machines out, they save approximately 120,000 lives a year. People that would die because if that machine's not in the hospital. So it's significant. And everything was there. America was the first market. The risks were identified. So why didn't it work? And here's the reason why it didn't work. This is a typical Lodox installation. It's a trauma team in Switzerland. This is not South Africa. In South Africa, you will not find so many people in a hospital room. It's too difficult. There are not enough resources. So in this room is the machine at the back. That red line on the floor is quite important. That's the virtual curtain. So behind that red line, there's no X-ray scatter. So everybody is safe behind that. And what happened is the patient comes in, and then the team start resus and look at all these things and do what they need to do while the machine can scan, and they know exactly what to do. But the problem is X-ray equipment are only bought by law by radiologists. There's not a radiologist near this picture. They do not get a benefit from this. They do not make money from this. The trauma surgeons make money from, well, not make money from this. They know what to do with their patients. It's actually a lifesaver. It's not a money maker. But the technology and the product was sold to radiologists all the time. And everything, you look at that, was there. So if something like that is broken, maybe you must fix it, but maybe not. And here's my favorite bit of my presentation. If you remember that this only, which I think is easy to remember because it's not normal, then it's good. And it's from Winnie the Pooh wisdom. And for you that do not know the story, somewhere in the story, little girl's coming down the stairs and there's a little bear going bum, bum, bum behind her. And the bear is thinking, he's saying, what the hell? Can't she do something else? Can't she carry me? Can't we do this in a different way? But that's how you do things. And sometimes you must just pause and you must think, is there a different way of doing things? Ask that question, why? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And people always focus on the how and when and the money and the budget, but that why. If you can't answer that question why, don't do it. It's really a waste of time. Then you must not do it. Then it's the wrong reason. And when Lodox asked that question, and we sat down and we had help. I had a brilliant team in Lodox Executive, the Lodox board, and from the shareholder, many people that works with me at the IDC, and then from economic development as well, Minister Patel and Mohammed Vada, which is, I never want his job for all the money in the world, but he's a brilliant person. And they put us together and they help us to get to this. And this really got Lodox, for the first time, we sat and we really defined a total value proposition for the company. So this is the essence of all of it. A total value proposition exists of three things: intangibles, tangibles, and something I call experiences, or not. I will explain that a bit more. Tangibles, you all know, that's the product, that's the technology, that's what it is. That's what this presentation was so far about. Intangibles are a bit more difficult. It's things that you don't really can feel. Sometimes you can see it, but sometimes not. Everybody in accounting understand all these things, but then I coined this thing experiences, and this is now emotional connection. This is now, you cannot feel it, you cannot see it. We're now talking with the heart and the soul. And what we did was, when we started to define our value proposition to all our customers and all our stakeholders, not only customers, all the stakeholders, the question you ask them is, do you love Lodox? And if they say, I love Lodox, then you're happy. We've sold 3 machines into the Georgia Bureau of Investigation in the United States of America. We first sold the first machine to a medical examiner. Medical examiner is the equivalent of a forensic surgeon. And he bought the machine because he believed in us. We were together at a conference, we had a few drinks, he said this is nice, and they bought the machine. His machine broke down several times, many times. While his machine was broken for a month, we were in the States and he ordered another 2 because he loves Lodox. He believed that we will fix the problem, that if the problem is fixed, it will benefit this institution and we will get everything right. And we did, because we had that stakeholder relationship, and it's had nothing to do with the selling price, with anything. It was this reason for him to spend that money on us was because he likes the company. He loved us and he loved what we did. And And that's the obvious thing. And people miss it so many times. You're so busy managing a company that you forget about the people you work with, the people work for you. And I really want to ask all of you running companies or be involved with anything, if you just start focusing a bit more on your people, then things will fix themselves. You don't need all these fancy methodologies and all those things. Just focus a bit on the right things and it will get right. So this is what happened to Lowdowns. Company started in 2002, I got there CEO 2009, around about 2013-14 is when we start to get this juice right, and that's what happened. Profit loss, it's not a pretty picture, but we're above the line, they're still above the line, and seems like it's going to stay there, and that is because of that. We had a shift, what we call shift in digital radiology, and that is because we forgot a bit about the technology and the product and focus a bit more on that emotional connection you have with everybody. That's my story for the day. Thank you.